Good morning, students. Today I will be discussing this video regarding vapor pressure and Raoult's law. So, firstly I will be discuss with you about the vapor pressure. Vapor pressure. What is a vapor pressure? If I will talk about this, so this is partial pressure exerted by any vapor or gas on the surface of liquid. Any liquid can be possible on the surface of liquid, or you can say that about the solution which is volatile in nature, is called vapor pressure. This is so simple. The definition is there for vapor pressure. Now I will be explaining with the help of diagram. Suppose I have a container. Suppose this is a container, this is closed, and here some liquid is present. Keep in mind that liquid should be the volatile. This is the must thing is available here. The liquid should be the volatile. So if that will be the volatile, so some volatile meaning what? That will be converted into gas, or that will be converted into vapor. That is the meaning of volatile. So if this is a volatile, so some particle will be available here in the form of gas, because that is going to convert it into vapor. So whatever pressure is applied by this vapor particle or gas particle on the surface of the liquid, that is called vapor pressure. So that meaning the pressure which is applied by the vapor or gaseous particles on the surface of the liquid or the solution which are in the volatile state, that is called vapor pressure. So that I have discussed about the vapor pressure. Now after this, what are the factors that affecting the vapor pressure? There are lots of factors which affect the vapor pressure, that I will discuss with you now. Factors affecting vapor pressure. This is the next topic is there. This is the factors affecting vapor pressure. Factors affecting vapor pressure. Factors affecting vapor pressure. So under this, firstly I will take the temperature. That I will be take temperature. Now what will be the effect of temperature on the vapor pressure? It is very simple. You can understand from here. Suppose I have a container. This is a container. In this container liquid is present. This is the liquid. Suppose this is the volatile liquid, simply because in starting I have told you we will talk about the volatile liquid. If it is a volatile, so initially suppose that are the particles which are in the vapor form, which will apply the pressure on the surface of the liquid, that will be the vapor pressure. But if I am going to increase the temperature, so by increasing the temperature, what's happen? More number of particles is going to convert it into vapor. So that meaning, suppose this is the particle which is increased, this is the particle that will be converted into vapor, this is the particle which is converted into vapor, this is the particle which is converted into vapor by increasing the temperature. So by increasing the temperature, the more particle is converted into vapor. So that's meaning the more particle is going to apply the pressure on the surface of the liquid. Simply we can say that by increasing the temperature, vapor pressure increase. So I can say that ki vapor pressure increase by increasing the temperature. Vapor pressure increase by increasing the temperature, because by increasing the temperature, more number of particles are comes in the form of vapor. So as the number of particle increase, so I can say that the vapor pressure increase on the surface. So this is the first part that I will discuss, that is the first factor. After that, second factor which I will take with you, this is the nature of liquid. What is the nature of the liquid? Nature of liquid, that I will taking the second factor with you peoples. This is nature of liquid. What is the nature of liquid? Nature of liquid, simply we know that ki lots of types of liquids are there. Suppose the liquid in which the intermolecular force of attraction weak, in which intermolecular force of attraction weak. So that meaning easily it will be converted into vapor by giving little bit amount of energy. So same, suppose this is a container in which the particles, in which the liquid is present. This is, that is. Now I will be explaining you here with two examples. Suppose I have a container A in which the A liquid is present, and this is the second container in which the B liquid is present. In liquid A, the force of attraction is weak. So that is, the force of attraction is weak. But in liquid B, the force of attraction is high. So this I have shown it here, that is a high. So little bit amount of energy if I will be give, so the force between them, because that is a weak, it will be break and they will be converted into vapor. Whereas here the force of attraction is very high, so by giving the temperature they are not converted into vapor easily. So very simple, ki in which the force of attraction is weak, by giving the heat they are converted into vapor easily. So the number of vapor particles is increased, so they will be applied the pressure on the liquid. So that meaning the nature of liquid is also very important factor. If the liquid in which the intermolecular force of attraction is weak, then to that liquid having more vapor pressure, because by giving little bit amount of temperature or little bit amount of heat, they are going to convert it into vapor, and that vapor is going to apply the pressure on the liquid surface, so vapor pressure increase. But in this case, if we want that I can say that intermolecular force of attraction between the particles of the liquid is high, so they are not going to convert into vapor easily. So simply if they are not going to convert into vapor, then they are not going to apply the pressure on that time. So that's meaning that is the second factor. If the intermolecular force of attraction between the liquid particle is weak, so the vapor pressure high. If that will be the strong, then the vapor pressure low. So this is the second factor. Now after this second factor, the third factor that I will be discuss with you, that is, third factor is there, it is its boiling point. Its boiling point. Boiling point. What is the effect on the boiling point? That is also very simple. Boiling point. Suppose a liquid which have the low boiling point. Low boiling point. Two liquid I have. One is having low boiling point and one is having high boiling point. High boiling point. Suppose this is the liquid. Volatile liquid is there. So simple. Some vapor particle is available here. That is. And this is the second condition. This is also a liquid, its boiling point is high. This is also some particle is available here. Now the liquid which is having low boiling point, by giving little bit of temperature, because it's a very low boiling point meaning at very less temperature it is going to convert into vapor. So by giving very less amount of temperature it will be converted into vapor. So more particle will be collecting here on the above side. So as the more particle will be collecting, they will be applied the pressure on the liquid surface, so vapor pressure will be increased. So that meaning low boiling point have high pressure, high vapor pressure, because by giving very little amount of heat, the more particle is converted into vapor, which is going to apply the pressure on the liquid surface. So I can say that boiling point increase. But the liquid which is having high boiling point, so it needs very large amount of temperature, very large amount of heat to give it. So that's meaning they are not going to convert in less amount of heat, so their boiling point will be low. So very simply you can say low boiling point liquid have high vapor pressure and the high boiling point liquid have low vapor pressure. That is low vapor pressure. That are the third factor. Now after that, fourth factor is there. This is related to the purity. It is related to the purity of the liquid. This is a very important factor. Purity of the liquid. This is related to purity. This is the fourth factor. Purity of the liquid. Purity of the liquid. This is very important factor here. Purity of the liquid. Very simply I will be say, one thing you keep in your mind, whatever pure liquid are there, pure liquid, whatever pure liquid will be there, pure liquid has always higher vapor pressure. Pure liquid has always higher vapor pressure. Higher vapor pressure in comparison of its solution. In comparison of its solution. One thing you keep in your mind is, this is very important point, the pure liquid has always higher vapor pressure in comparison of its solution. That I will be explaining you how it will be there. Now suppose I have a pure liquid. Suppose I have a pure liquid, that I am going to explain again with the help of diagram. Suppose I have a pure liquid. Now this is a container in which I have a pure liquid. Suppose this is a pure liquid. So if it is a pure liquid, very simple. So suppose these are the pure liquid particles. That are the particles. So in the vapor form, whenever I will be give the heat, so all these particles will become in the form of vapor. This is the pure condition. Keep in your mind. Very simple. How many particles on the surface? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But when I am going to make its solution, then solvent will be added. So on that time, the solvent particles are also available on the surface, like this, whatever I am going to show you. That are the solvent particles. That is. So you can check out. By making the solution, the number of pure solute is going to decrease. Before that, 8 particles of solute on the surface. But now how many solute particles are there? 1 solvent particle, 2, 3, 4, 5. The particle is going to decrease. So that meaning whenever I will give heat, so only 5 particles can be converted into vapor form in the case of solution. But in the case of pure solvent, 8 particles can be converted in the form of vapor. So 8 particles will be applied more pressure on the surface of the liquid in the comparison of 5. So simply I can say that pure solvent, whatever pure solvent is available here, pure solvent, they have high vapor pressure in the comparison of solution. Very simple, you can see again. In the pure solvent case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 particles are available on the above surface of the liquid. Here, whenever I will make the solution, solute particle will be there. So suppose these are the solute particle. These are the solute particle. They will be also coming with the solvent particle. So on that time, the number of solvent particle on the top, it is going to decrease. So by increasing the temperature, if I will be see, so only before that 8 particle was there on the surface, so they can convert it into vapor. But here now only 5 particles are available, so they will be converted into vapor. So 8 particles, those are going to convert it into vapor. They will be applied the more pressure in the comparison of these 5 particles. So that's meaning I can say that pure solvent have more vapor pressure in the comparison of their solution. These are the factor. After that, the topic that I will discuss with you, that is a Raoult's law. Factors are completed. Now the topic is there. This is the Raoult's law. Again I am telling you, I am discussing firstly about the volatile liquid. Everything I am talking here about the volatile liquid, nothing more, only for volatile liquid. So that topic is there. Raoult's law. What is the Raoult's law? That is for volatile. Keep in your mind again. Raoult's law for volatile liquid. For volatile liquid. Raoult's law for volatile liquid. Now, what is the Raoult's law for volatile liquid? That we will discuss. According to this law, for any volatile substance, the partial pressure for any volatile substance, the partial pressure is exerted by vapor or gas on the surface of liquid, is directly proportional to mole fraction of the liquid. This is for volatile. That meaning the partial pressure of the liquid is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the liquid. That is, this is the main point. This is for what? This is for volatile liquid. Now here also some cases are available. What are the cases? I will discuss the first case. The first case in which, now I will discuss the first case. Case first is available here, in which solute and solvent both are volatile. So the first case is there. Case first. What is? Volatile solute is there and volatile solvent is there. Volatile solvent. Very simple. When the solute and solvent both are volatile, the solution whatever I am getting, that will be also volatile. Solution. That I will discuss with you now. Now, suppose I have here two things, pure. This is, I will talk about the pure solute. Suppose this is the pure solute particles. This is a pure solute particle, that is represented by A. Solute A. This is a pure form. The second thing, this is a solvent. This is also in the pure form. That are their particle. This is the B. Suppose this is the solute. I will represent it here. This is solute and this is solvent. Whenever both of them they are going to mix, then they are giving us a solution. So this is A and this is B. Differentiation I will show you this. This is a dark one. This is a dark one. This is. So if I will be make the solution, then what will be happen? This is the A. This is the B. A, B, because in the solution solute and solvent both are present. A, B, A, and this is again B. So this is my solution. This is my solution. Now I suppose that the partial pressure of this solute is P node A. P node A, and for solvent this is P node B. For solute P node A and for solvent this is P node B. Now here the condition I will be applied it here कि let P node A is greater than P node B. The partial pressure of component A is greater than the partial pressure of component B. Suppose this is. Now if this will be the condition, so what will be the total pressure here? If I will find out the total pressure, so how I can find out the total pressure? This is the solution. In the solution, this is the pressure PA and this is the pressure PB, because the number of particles are going to change in the solution. So pressure is also going to change. Here the pure, this is also pure. The number of particles are only for the pure solute, and here only for the pure solvent. But I am going to make the solution, then the number of particles are going to change. So the pressure is also going to change in the case of solution. So I suppose for the solute this is a PA and for solvent this is a PB. So what is the total pressure? Total pressure PT equal to PA plus PB. This is total pressure PT equal to PA plus PB. Now I am coming on the point. This is the total pressure. The point is available here according to Raoult's law. According to Raoult's law, the partial pressure is directly proportional to the mole fraction. That is, so PA, this is the partial pressure, is directly proportional to mole fraction of component A. If I will remove that directly proportional sign, then one constant will be coming. So I will be applied here constant. This is the partial pressure of pure component A into chi A. This is the mole fraction, because for pure component that will be a fixed, that will be always constant. So that is why I am applying here. This is the constant partial pressure of pure component. This is A. Same for PB. This is directly proportional to chi B. This is the mole fraction of B component. So this will be also coming. PB equal to what? P node B into chi B. This is. Now please apply it both the values here. So PT equal to what will be coming? In place of PA, I can write P node A chi A, plus in place of PB, I can write P node B into chi B. This is. Now here we suppose that chi A is greater than partial pressure of component A is greater than the component B. This is, suppose this is my equation first, and we know that the sum of the mole fraction of the component is always equal to 1. So chi A plus chi B is equal to 1. So what will be the value of chi B here? If I will find out the value of chi B, so chi B is equal to 1 minus chi A. This is 1 minus chi A. So in place of chi B, put it the value. So PT equal to what will be coming? P node A chi A plus P node B. In place of chi B, 1 minus chi A. This is. Now solve it. What we are getting here? P node A chi A plus P node B. P node B multiply this. So this will minus P node B chi A. This is. Now or I can write this term in the other way also. What is the other way? I can write in this way also. The same way I can write here PT. PT equal to P node B. This I am writing here P node B plus P node A chi A minus, this is the minus sign, P node B, and this is chi A. That is. Now this is the P node B. Chi A is common, so plus chi A I have taken common. So what is left? P node A minus P node B. This is the total pressure. This is the total pressure. That is. So that formula I am getting here. P node B plus chi A, P node A minus P node B for total pressure if the pressure of P node A is more than P node B. That is according to Raoult's law. So in my next video I will discuss about its second case. What will be the second case and some graphical portion also, that I will discuss in my next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.